Hey, what's up, family? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Chief Kalanago back at it again. All right. I'm going to give you guys some time to log in because I'm not hungry. Man, listen, the last video I did, I was hungry. Chief Kalanago back at it again. Hold on. All right. Hold on. I'm going to give you guys some time to log in because I'm not hungry. Here. Give me a second. Man, listen, the last video I did, I was hungry. Chief Kalanago back at it again. Sorry about the feedback, guys. Okay, so here we go. We're about to do some building right now. Okay, let's build moving forward. So I'm gonna give you guys some time to get onto the live feed. I'm not gonna be sharing any screen today. We're just gonna build. We're just gonna build. All right, because that is the foundation to making these moves. I know a lot of us are in different places across the country, across the world. But what drives us together, or what keeps us together, or what bonds us together is that connection of knowing that we are indigenous people to this planet. You know what I mean? So I know the internet is like the universal mind. You know, it really is, because it connects everyone. It doesn't matter where you're at, it connects everyone. So I like to think of it in, from that perspective. But like I said, this is about building, moving forward. Things we need to do. How are we going to do it? I mean, of course, we're not going to discuss everything on here. I mean, regardless of what they're watching anyway. So we shouldn't be afraid to move forward. We shouldn't be afraid to do what we have to do. You know, the gift and the curse of the internet for these people is this. Before the internet, they got away with so many things. Before the internet, it was just so many things that they could do that we weren't aware of. But now, because of the internet, so much is coming to light. So to me, it's a gift and a curse for them. Yes, they are making money off the internet, but the internet is also connecting us. Hey, what's up, Authentic One? So the internet is literally connecting us. So it's like the universal mind, and people who are literally on the same frequency, for some reason, we are always linking up through, whether it may be my YouTube, my Facebook. So it's a great tool. I always tell folks, the things that you have, or the vices that you have, it's literally up to you how you use it. It's up to you. Okay, nobody's forcing you to use the internet or Facebook to promote low vibrational, whether it may be videos, whether it may be posts, or anything that's degrading your people. Nobody's forcing you to do it. So you are responsible for that. All right, you are in control. Authentic One, bro, I am out in Florida making it happen. That's what's up, family. That's what's up. Glad you finally made it, man. Did you finally move, or you just went down there for a little bit? Because if you're down there in Florida and you move, man, I could hook you up and link you to my peoples out there in Florida that's making moves, because that's what it's all about. Being in different parts of the country where we place ourselves strategically, and not just in the country, but also on the continent, around the world, where we have to make these moves simultaneously. You feel me? Yes. Wow. That's a beautiful thing, brother. That's a beautiful thing. So we definitely got to talk on the phone, because I got to link you with the Connect out there in Florida. So I'm going to make a note of that. All right. Because what I'm doing right now, I'm putting, like I said, we are building and we are moving forward. So we are putting things in place so that we could do what we have to do. You feel me? A lot of, yes, they have a lot of Seminoles out there in Florida. So it's a great place to build, and let them tell you, if you could, if you get a chance, tell you about the stories about our ancestors. They definitely will put you on. So I'm gonna make a note of that, to hook you up, with the Florida people. So I'm gonna just put Florida next to that. Yeah, so I'm wondering where everybody at, man. Where everybody at? We got work to do. We got work to do, family. We got work to do. All right. But how is the weather out there in Florida, bro? I know it must be hot. You know, it's raining out here in Illinois. So, I mean, periodically, you know, we get rain. It's like every 3 days or every 4 days it rain out here. It rain. So I'm not complaining though, because, you know, the rain is a beautiful thing. I was told that the rain out here is a different kind of rain in a sense that it is showers that's blissful, because, you know, I don't use the word blessing. So it's the showers are blissful out here. So I should definitely go out and be bare feet and then get and be showered up, you know, with the rain. So I'm gonna try that one day, but it's a little too cold for that right now. Beautiful and hot, coconuts everywhere, man. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. That kind of you just brought back some memories of the Caribbean. You know, drink. You know, I had coconut trees in the backyard and all that. So it's a beautiful thing. And one of, you know, to me, one of the things about moving from New York, especially being in Brooklyn, one of the toughest things for me right now is not being able to just get up and walk to the corner store or walk to you know, a fruit stand and just get mad fruits. You know what I'm saying? Well, not mad fruits. The fruits are not mad, so I'm not gonna say that. But you know, that's one of the, to me, there are pros and cons from moving, you know, out of New York and being in Illinois right now, because I can't just get up and walk to a fruit stand and get you know, a fresh coconut or some fresh bananas or, you know, that type of thing. So I kind of miss Brooklyn a little bit for that, you know. But apart from that, Illinois is cool, man. You know, I'm still building, feeling my way around, still trying to connect with people that's ready to move forward and make these moves. You feel me? Because I'm ready to build, man. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm being impatient, because I know everything is gonna happen in its own time. Everything is gonna happen in its own time. What I want, you know, people to know is this. I know a lot of times we look around us and we see a lot of our family and friends. It's like they're not getting it. They're not ready to wake up. They're not ready to build. But what you have to realize is this. They are going to wake up in their own time. That's number one. And number two, everything is going to fall into place. Because guess what? Hey, what's up, Alex? High vibes, family. What you need to know is this. Yo, I like that bow and arrow idea. That's what's up. What we need to know is this. Everything is already in place. It's not that it's going to fall in place. It's already in place. Because everything that we're going through right now, it's like duality, so to speak. Okay? That's being manifested in the spiritual realm. So those of us who are waking up right now, we are literally putting in some real serious work in what you call in the spiritual realm. And that's why it's manifesting here. And that's why it's manifesting. So we putting in the work. A lot of people don't know that we're putting in that work, but we are. Because what's happening to people like us is we feel isolated. We feel like we're alone. We feel like nobody else is seeing it. We feel like, damn, am I the only one? Am I doing the right thing? You start questioning yourself because nobody around you is seeing what you are seeing and going through what you are going through. And even with your own family and friends, it's like they want to, like, it's like you have to walk away from them because it feels like they are becoming your biggest enemies. You feel me? And I'm not saying enemies in that type of way, but it like people that literally, they can't really feel and understand what you're going through. So they're isolating themselves. They're making you feel like, hey, you know what? Don't force this on me. I don't want to hear about that. What are you talking about? You know, what you talk, you crazy. Like they're going to call you all kind of names. Family, that's when you know you're on the right path. And then now you have to start asking yourself, well, am I alone? And then that's how you start linking up with people that are like-minded. You link up on YouTube, you link up on Facebook, you link up on Instagram, literally social media. So that's becoming your new family, so to speak. So I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. And the reason why I'm doing, because I did a live video on Facebook earlier, but it's in a group. I had to, you know, address. One of the sisters asked me to do a live feed. So I had to do that. But I wanted to do this video to let you guys know that, of course, you know, we have to build, but moving forward, how do we move forward? And of course, we're not going to give the answers on here, but that's part of the things we have to realize. We have to move forward, regardless of wherever we at. Some people may be in Chicago. Some people may be in New York. Some people may be in Pennsylvania. Some people may be in Philadelphia. Some people may be in California, Florida, like just like Authentic One. He just moved to Florida. Does that mean that we can't do what we have to do from where we at? No, it doesn't mean that. We could still do what we have to do. And that's why I'm doing this video, to see who is ready to move forward. Okay? And seriously, I mean, literally serious people only, man. Because this game is not for those. And remember, when I say game, it is a game. And this game is about us reclaiming our land. This game is about, you know, sort of like stepping up and identifying ourselves, letting these people know who we are. This game is about restoring the ways of our ancestors. Hey, what's up, Jamar? So this is what this is about. Okay, this is what this is about. I need to know who is ready to move forward. Not just talking, not people who just want to hear videos, you know, nah. Because I tell folks, seriously, I do these videos to drop some knowledge on the people. But at the end of the day, after you drop the knowledge, what's next? It's one thing to get the knowledge, but how do we implement the knowledge? So that's my question in this video today. Let us build, moving forward. Okay? Now that you know you are indigenous, of course, like I said, to the world, but now that you know that you're indigenous to the Americas, we have always been here, you know that now. There's enough information to debunk the lies. There's enough information to look at people in the conscious community and say, hey, hold up. How come y'all didn't tell me that? Or just step back and let them do them and we do us. Because literally, we have to step away from that chaos so that we could stay focused, because those people are a distraction. And I'm always going to remind you guys, any one of the people that teach you, that they're so-called your teachers or your lecturers, the people that you follow, anytime they are continuously calling you black, they are agents. Like, seriously. You may not see it, but believe me, they are agents, because they know what it means. But they want to keep you in that paradigm because it benefits them. Okay, they are getting paid to keep you in that paradigm. So I'm asking you guys, I can't tell you what to do, all right? But I'm asking you guys to pay attention to that. How is that these people know everything else except the fact that you calling yourself black means you are dead within law? And that means you have no rights. You only have privileges that's allocated to you. So my goal right now is to link up with the brothers and sisters that are ready to move forward. That's ready to move forward without wavering. Okay, we are ready to make these moves because our ancestors put us on the same frequency so that we can link up and do what we need to do. All right. Jamar says, now that I know, I want to let all of my other brothers and sisters know. Indeed. And that's what it's all about. You know, it's about sharing the information, giving the knowledge. And once again, we have to be gentle with it. Because remember, this is like 500 years, over 500 years of oppression, 500 years of the lies, 500 years of our people dealing with these thieves. I mean, that's who they are. They are thieves. I have given you enough information and, you know, to know the character and the nature of these people. Now, when I speak that way, I am not preaching hate, okay? But the real is the real. A lot of times people feel guilty because they don't want to feel like they don't want to come across as they hating. And no, that's not my intention. I am not on here telling people to hate people, but however, I am telling you to be aware of these people. We cannot trust them because their track record has proven and shown us that we can't trust them. All right. And it came straight from the words of the ancestors in their memoirs, in documents, in books, coming straight from their mouths. They are telling you that they trusted these people. And because they trusted them, that's how we ended up in the situation that we are in today. So we, as the children, the descendants of the ancient ones, of the ancient American Aborigines, we have to step our game up and know that we cannot trust you. You know, if you say you want to help in the cause, all right, you know, fine. Okay, but you're going to help, but we're going to let you help from a distance. Like, that's real talk. Because you cannot trust these people, man. You cannot trust them, because every time we trust them, we let our guard down. Okay, we end up without our homes. We end up without our land. We end up without our spirituality. Okay, I mean, you end up without your children. I mean, just look at the track record. There is nothing to show and prove that we could trust these people. So we have to be on our game. Period. We have to be on point and know that a lot of people who look like us, they are also against us. And that is facts. That's what it is what it is. It is what it is, because they don't realize that, first off, they are confused. When you don't know that this is your land, you're not going to fight for your land. So therefore, it's easy for you to take a bribe so that you could mislead people and give them the wrong information, because you're not thinking, why would I want to get a payoff to sell out my people and tell them they're from Africa when they are not, when I could come together with them and try to get back a whole continent? But you see, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about the instant gratification. That's what they're thinking of. The instant gratification. What can I get now? What can I get now so I could buy some gold? What can I get now so I could pull up in a Mercedes Benz? What can I get right now to show that I'm flossing? What can I get right now to show another brother and sister I'm doing better than you? That's where their focus is. A lot of the people who look like us, especially them in the conscious community, you see, that's what it's about. It's about a come up, not realizing the real come up is about trying to get back your entire continent. Why focus on a few dollars that's not even real, when you could focus on getting your entire continent back? So family, you have to realize this agenda of taking the American Aborigine and trying to put us in another continent. You have to know what this is about. Hey, what's up, Beehive Vibes? You feel me? So this video right here is about building and moving forward with those that are serious, because, you know, when I was, you know, not necessarily misled, because I wasn't misled, but when I was under the impression that, hey, everybody came from Africa, you know, don't get me wrong. When I found out that I wasn't from Africa, it was a little bit disappointing. And I'm gonna keep it real, because that was what was popular. To me, it was popular. So I wanted to be with the flow. I wanted to be what everybody else wanted to be. But my ancestors woke me up from that, and they say, hey, no, son, you're from here. This is your land. We brought you here for this reason, to wake up the American Aborigines. We ain't got nothing against our relatives, our cousins out there in Africa. We have nothing against them, but just know that you have your own identity. This is your land. So when I woke up from that, and immediately I started talking about who I truly am, which is an American Aborigine, the American Red Indian, that's what they called us, then I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of people. I mean, I had an exodus, about 40 or 50, 60 people getting ready to take them to Africa. And the ancestors pulled me up and said, no, this is not that's not where you're from. This is your home. So right now I am here putting in this work, and I'm going to give it my all, because I know what's at stake. I know what my ancestors went through. I have seen it in a vision, and that's why I'm so motivated, and that's why I'm so dedicated to doing what I do. I know the odds may seem like it's against me. I get it. I know what I bring may not be popular. I get it. It's all right. I am not trying to be popular. I am trying to bring the truth to the American Aborigines and let them know that this is their land, and let them question everybody else who's trying to tell them differently. Why are you guys calling me black? I'm not a color. Why are you guys calling me African American? That is two continents. You cannot be two continents. We have to question and hold these people that you call your teachers responsible. Because if you woke up to the knowledge, hey, what's up, Catherine? Namaste, family. If you woke up to the knowledge of you cannot trust the pale man, if you woke up to that knowledge that you cannot trust them, why would you trust your so-called brothers and sisters who call themselves black, who are taking the same knowledge that the so-called pale man they speak about? They're taking that same knowledge and they're putting you in Africa. You can't trust that either, man. You can't trust it. We got to be real. You can't trust it. All right. Alex says, be known. You forgot the bow and arrow, brother. Nah, I didn't forget the bow and arrow, family. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's a nice touch to it right there. B says, good looking, brother. I'm still working on it. Okay, namaste from sister. Yes, I got you. We got Germany in the building. Germany in the building for sure. Funny how you said you are not trying to be popular, because in this day and age, the truth is very unpopular. That's right. Della, what's up, family? High vibes. And that's what it is. You know, I tell people, if I wanted to be popular, I could have been part of the conscious community, you know, because I would have made my way onto Cyanetta's couch. Okay, I would have made my way because I had that connection when I was back in Brooklyn. I had that connection. One of my brothers always told me, listen, I could bring you to Cyanetta. You feel me? But at that point, I didn't want to get caught up in that community. Although if I get a chance, I'll still go so I could tell the truth. But it wouldn't be telling people that they're Black or they're African American. So they probably wouldn't like what I got to say anyway. You feel me? But I know the truth is not popular. I already know that. I already know the broad way to that whole liberation. Okay? It is the narrow path. It is the one that I'm walking right now. I'm walking that thin line because I know at the end of the tunnel, there is light. I know that our ancestors, they have already put things in place. Literally, we just have to position ourselves. Okay? In other words, we have already won. We have already been victorious. So what we have to do now is finagle our way and find that frequency, that right path to put ourselves on so that we could pick up where they left off and restore everything. Okay, because now we have the internet. Okay, now that we know we cannot trust the pale man because they trusted them. And I'm not going to say it's a mistake. No, it's not. Okay, some people may look at it as they were stupid or foolish, or, you know, I'm not going to say that. All I'm going to say is this. Our ancestors were kind-hearted people. Okay, they were a loving people. And we, the children, we're the same way. But I'm saying that we cannot be so gullible, all right, where we just going to allow these people to continue to destroy us. Okay, we can't allow that, family. And part of how we get away from that is by us doing our own. Remember, we are the indigenous people of this land. This is our home. We are the original people. And we have to realize our safety, okay? It lies on being indigenous. Anything outside of that makes you illegal or an immigrant or exiled in your own home. I hope that makes sense, all right? Alex said, I was wondering that too, brother. Yes, what was the great spirit that our people looked up to? Family, the great spirit was just the way our ancestors explained the universal all. When they first learned English, all right, of course we had our own concept of what the deity was or what the universal creator was. But when English was forced on our people, one of the ways that they were able to articulate what the universal creator, or what you call God, is by saying the great spirit. Okay, the great spirit. So literally the great spirit is the all, nature, what they saw in nature. In other words, the unexplainable. That's what they call the great spirit. They just knew that there was something greater than us, something that gave us life, something that created the universe. That is an energy. It's a principle. It's a concept. That is the great spirit. All right. But the pale man take that concept of the great spirit, our ancestors practicing that spirituality, and condense that concept and created what you call a god. Now, the root word of the god means to evoke, which is an action word. So when you say God, my question to you is, what are you evoking? And it has to do with pouring libation, all right, and evoking the dead. So they saw what our ancestors were doing because we also paid a lot of homage, all right, to those who have ascended. They didn't say they died, all right? They ascended to the next life. They passed on to the next life. So we paid homage to them. So I guess the pale man came up with the word God, which means to evoke. Pour libations. Go look at the etymology if you think I'm lying. I always say, don't believe me. Prove me wrong. Go look at the etymology of the word God and look at it and pay attention, and you would see exactly what they are saying. So when our people are using the word God, they are evoking the spirits of, or the ancestors of the pale man. That's why I don't really use the word God to myself. I mean, I use it in conversations so people know what I'm talking about, but family, I'm going to keep it real. I try my best not to use that word. Okay? I try my best not to use that word because I know the emotion that's behind it. You know, and if I use it, I'm going to use it in the context of me evoking the spirits of my ancestors, because that's what it means to evoke, to pour libation. Okay? That's what it means. So if I'm going to use the word God, I'm going to use it in that context where I'm evoking my ancestors and not the ancestors of the pale man. All right? So I hope that makes sense. I usually look up to the three animal spirits. Alex, you say you normally look up to the three animal spirits. Go ahead, Alex. Tell us what that is. Della says they need to be told the facts. Yes, they do. Hey, what's up, 2000 watts? Peace and love, high vibes. All right, so family, this again, this right here is about moving forward. Like I said, we're going to be doing some private conference calls. So for those of you who are serious about this, okay, serious about making this move, serious about restoring the ancient ways of our ancestors, I would like you guys to get in contact with me, please. All right, this is what this is about. Now that we're getting the knowledge, now that we know we are indigenous to the Americas, now that we know we have always been here, now that we know we are not from Africa, okay, how do we move forward? What do we do next? Okay, that is the question we have to ask ourselves. How do we get away from the claws of these vampires, these thieves, the people who came to our land that we welcomed, okay, with open arms, because we didn't have any reason not to trust them from the very beginning. Like literally the first time we saw pale people was when they came to our land. The entire American continent was the copper colored races. So we had never seen a pale man in our life before. So we know for a fact that this is not his natural habitat. We know that for a fact that he is not indigenous to our land. So we are the indigenous people. Peace and love, Patrick. We are the indigenous people. So the question is, how do we step up, okay, to get the respect that we deserve as the original people of the land? Now that we know we didn't come here on a slave ship from Africa. Yes, we were enslaved. You see how they kind of twist that knowledge? Because they enslaved us, they made that synonymous with us coming here on a slave ship. But we didn't come here on a slave ship. Our ancestors were not slaves from Africa. They made us slaves in our own land because we have always been here. All right? All right, to move forward, we need to let go of the past and let go of the European ways. To move forward, we need to let go of the past. Jamar, yes, I would say yes and no. We cannot let go of the past because the past is our ancestors. The present is our ancestors and the future is our ancestors. So we cannot let go of the past. All right. We have to always remember what they went through. However, you are correct. We have to let go of the ways of the pale man's ways. We have to let go of his ways. All right. We have to let go. I agree with that. Definitely. All right. Jamar says, just imagining seeing people my color when I walk side to side. It's a beautiful thing. Yes. It's a beautiful thing until our people start calling themselves black, not knowing that they're not a color, okay? Black is not a nationality. And may I remind you guys that to be black within the construct of the corporation, the United States of America, it makes you 3/5 of a human. All right, Alex. When I'm doing something, I would usually call on my ancestors or the animal spirits, which depending on what I am doing. For example, I am lifting weights at the gym. I would call on the spirit. Oh, yes, I do that sometimes. Like my spiritual animal is the eagle. So I totally get it. I get what you were saying because our ancestors used those concepts as well, you know, and implemented that in their lives. All right, Alex of the Bear. Who it's cool. Your Ethiopian sister here from Holland. Hi, Chief. What is now our next? I am reading the ebook and listening to you the whole day. Well, sis, you know, peace and love, peace and love. Well, that's what we have to do. Like I said, you know, we are all indigenous to the world. So I'm asking all the indigenous people to step up and unite because we have one common enemy. And if we open our eyes and we want to be honest with ourselves, that common enemy is the people, or they are the people who are destroying our home. They are destroying our natural habitat. They are the ones that has taken away, they have taken away our livelihood and put us in survival mode. Now you have to know there's a difference between surviving and living. You see the switcheroo. You see how they switch roles. They have always been in survival mode because when they manifested here, they came into a planet that was already inhabited by people who look like us. So automatically they came already with the notion and concept that they have to survive. The odds were already against them. Okay? So they have always been in survival mode. So their goal was to rise above that. And the people who were living life, in other words, to live is to live in nature. To live is to live by nature. That's what's natural to the indigenous man and woman. However, survival came into play when they switched the position around. They came, they went into every part of the world, and they imposed, they pillaged, they killed, they destroyed, they raped. And they put the indigenous people in a survival mode. In other words, the crab in the barrel mentality. You have to fight against your brother to survive. You have to fight against your sister to survive. A sister got to fight a sister. A brother got to fight a sister. A sister got to fight a brother. You see, that is the mindset that they put us in. So now we are always competing, not realizing that, damn, why do I need to compete against my brother and my sister when we have an entire continent, an entire world, an entire globe? We could come together and restore. And I'm always thinking, you see, that happens when people think of themselves. They are only thinking of themselves. How can I get up? How can I make it? You see, people who always think of I, they are the ones that sell you out because they're always thinking about themselves. I always tell people I'm a team player. There's no I in team. Of course, I know that I have to work on me first. I have to build me first. I have to love me first. I have to make sure that I'm solid first. I have to make sure that I have a strong foundation first. Yes. Because if I don't love me, I cannot love you. I would be a hypocrite. Okay? If my foundation is not strong enough, how am I able to pick you up? So I know I have to work on me. But what I'm saying is essentially when we are thinking of the big picture, okay, I like a term that's called synergy. And what that means is working together for the common goal, but a bigger goal of the all. That's what I'm about. And those are the ways of my ancestors. And we need to go back to that. Okay, it is too much about I, me. Family, with that mentality, we will always stay divided. So we have to give that up, all right? And see ourselves as the people. We the people. That's how we move forward, or at least one of the ways. Jamar says, for many years, our ancient blood has been spilled. By their blood, we'll stay in the earth. We will survive. Yes. I mean, like I said, we have already won. You know, we will be victorious because we are victorious. You know, the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first. I mean, that's just what it is. We were first, they were last. Okay? The place was switched around. They became first, we became last. Now the tides are changing. We are literally stepping back into our throne. We are literally stepping back as the guardians, the lords, and the gods of the universe. We are stepping up into our rightful place. All right? Do you think we only take the seed of our father? For example, if my mother was Aboriginal and my father was white, the offspring would be what he is? Omar, that's a very interesting question. To me, I would say that I know on the American continent we have always had a matriarchal society. All right, it was, you know, the pale man brought the patriarchal society to our home. We have always had a high regard for our women. Me personally, I believe that, you know, you are what your parents are, regardless whether it's male or female. You are what your parents are. However, I think that even in antiquity, in our culture, you know, things were handed down through the woman. It's only something that the pale man brought to us to make it patriarchal, but it was always handed down through the woman. Now, I always tell people that it is true, you know, that the seed is in the woman. You know, the man is the fertilizer of that egg, but the life is in the woman. However, the man has to fertilize that womb or that egg. So one cannot do without the other. It's like asking which one came first, the chicken or the egg. The egg is the chicken and the chicken is the egg. So it's all in the woman. Life is in the woman. However, to activate that life, she needs that spark of light, which is that sperm. That sperm has to activate or fertilize that egg for it to manifest. All right. So either way, family, you are what your parents are. Nobody, we shouldn't allow anybody to tell you, well, hey, you know what? Your father was this, or your mother was this, or you are not this, or you're not that. The point is, you know, you are both what your parents are. Okay. But if you decide to take sides, then that's on you. At some point, if you are part of an interracial, okay, mix or whatever they call it, at some point you may have to take sides, because it may come to the point where we have to separate and you may have to choose. You may, that's just a possibility, but you are what your parents are. And to set the record straight, the life is in the female. The life is in the woman. However, that spark of sperm, that spark of light, it's what that fertilizes that egg. All right. So I hope that makes sense. He says, my pet, my phone as well. Hail, Brenda, late. JD, what's up, family? JD, what's up? We need to be one with the universe. We are one with the universe. Yes, we are one with the universe. That's something we could never get away from. Us being one of the universe. For us not to be one of the universe, we would have to be outside of the universe. And there's nothing outside of the all. Okay, so we are one with the universe. The question is, are we aware of that? Okay, we are one with the universe. The question is, are we aware? And that's what the goal is, to be aware, to raise your frequency so high that you become aware that you and the universe, we are all one. Okay. Hey, what's up, Sherry? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Glad you're here. Dennis, what's up, family? Have to plug in a lamp to make it work. All right. Jamar says they took control when they did segregation, putting us together. At the first, we couldn't do the same in school. Well, honestly, yes, segregation was a downfall for our people. It was, you know, the segregation was, to me, was promoted under the false pretense that when we came together and sang Kumbaya, that everything would have been okay. But apparently it went back to exactly what our ancestors said when they first came. They welcomed them, open arms, they gave them land, and the more land they gave them, the more they took. Okay? Until they literally took everything. So we cannot trust these people. Their track record has shown that we can't trust them. And again, like I said, I am not promoting hate, but I have to speak the truth. And I have to reiterate that. This is not about hating anybody. It's about the truth is the truth. You shall know a tree by its fruits. You shall know a man or a woman by the intent of their heart and the actions that they produce. So I'm only basing that on their actions. And for people nowadays to say, oh, well, you know what? Well, it wasn't me. I'm not my forefather. But yet, guess what? You are the one enjoying and enjoying the benefits of them raping my grandparents or my forefathers. So that blood is still in your DNA. You know what I'm saying? If you're different, then give us back what's ours. That's all I'm just saying. You know, so I don't deal with the hypocrisy of these people, man. You know, they're gonna do what they have to do. And I'm not mad at them, family. I am not mad. Because they did what they had to do to get on top and to stay on top. The question is, are you going to be mad at yourself for not doing what you're supposed to do? That is the question. Because like I said, this is a game. It's a race. And the race has nothing to do with your color or your complexion. The race has to do with taking your land. Who's going to take it first and who's going to grab it first? That's what it's about. So people need to wake up. All right. Is it true that all the sperm that comes from a male are female, and is a woman that determine if it changes or remain? Well, to me, and I'm just giving based on my own perspective, I believe, honestly, I don't think, and that's just my own personal perspective. Hey, what's up, Joseph? Peace and love. QMTV, what's up, fam? JD, to answer your question, to me personally, I don't think man or woman, you know, determine anything, honestly, because life had already existed in the spiritual world. And in the spiritual world, there's no male or female. Okay, so anytime a celestial body or a spirit decide to manifest into the flesh, it already know what it's coming as. You feel me? So that's just real talk. So sometimes, you know, all those things to me create division, trying to make one person better than the next. And don't get me, I used to be there too as well, but I try to give that up. I try to give that up. You know what I mean? Life had already existed in the spiritual realm without no gender. So even before that being or that spirit even decide to manifest in the flesh, looking for a portal to come through, whether it may be come through as a man or a woman, that was already decided in the spiritual realm. It's just that the mechanisms in place was a man and a woman in the physical realm that help manifest that gender that it decided to come as in the spiritual realm. So literally the things I just put in place, okay, that has already literally manifested already in the spiritual realm. So I hope that makes sense. You may not promote hate, but hearing the truth makes me hate the white man. They rape, kill, or what? Yes. Honestly, you know, the truth could, you know, get you emotional where you could get to the point of hate. And I get it, family. I get it. I get it. I totally get it. And believe me, it takes a lot out of me and a lot of growth not to feel hate. Don't get me wrong. It gets me angry. I am upset. Okay? Yes, I am. I got to keep it real. But I don't hate. You know why? Because I have to ask myself, what if the situation was reversed and I came into a universe where, or a world that was already populated with a people that don't look like me? Now I'm coming into that world as a stranger. I'm already coming as the underdog. Now I'm not making an excuse for their barbaric ways. I'm not doing that. But I'm coming as the underdog. And then when I came into this world, the first thing, I was looked at as a stranger. I became a slave. Remember, the so-called pale man was the first slave. You see, that's what people are not telling you. So family, I have to be real about this. They were the first slaves. So they know what it means to be at the bottom. They know what it means not to have anything. They know what it means to eat from garbage cans and not being able to wipe their own butt. They know what that means. So that's why it's important for them to be on top and stay on top and hold that position. Now, I'm not making an excuse for them. I'm just letting you understand their mindset. Now it's up to you and I to step up our game and do what we have to do to regain what was ours or reclaim what was ours. So I'm not going to hate them. It's like they say, don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't hate the player. I just dislike the game. You feel me? I dislike the game, but I don't hate the player. I cannot hate a man for wanting to win. It's like playing basketball. Why would LeBron hate Steph Curry? No, you let him do him and you try to win. So I hope that makes sense, family. I hope that makes sense. All right. But I do get you, family. Sometimes the emotions could get in the way. Emotions could get in the way. All right. So let me see. All right. So we have that. They want to know. Okay. So we're on point with that. Just making sure I try to get to everybody. They are very forgiving, even when the Europeans were stealing everything. Yes. Our ancestors, you know, I got to get it. You know, I mean, we may call it, you know, they were gullible, and we are a very forgiving people. And because we forgive, it doesn't mean that we should forget. All right. But all I'm just asking, we, this current generation, all right, our ancestors, they are manifested in us and they are still in us. Let us not be gullible as our ancestors were. Let us be on point. All right. Let us be witty. Let us be smart. Let us be vigilant in everything that we do, because we know what our ancestors went through. So now, how do we avoid that? By paying attention and being aware of what they went through and making sure that history don't repeat itself. So we have to stay focused and we have to unite. That is the key. Dennis says, is the spirit more than energy? I say that to say there's male and female energy. It could well be in the spiritual realm as well. Well, Dennis, to answer that question, for me, from my own perspective, there is no male and female in whether it may be energy or not. There's no male and female in the pure essence of what you call the creator. There's no male and female. However, because of awareness, and when I say awareness, people may say consciousness. So I rather say awareness, okay? But because of awareness, in order to create, okay, that all, which is neither masculine nor feminine, it has to take up a persona, okay? It has to take up a principle of male and female in order to create. But in its pure form, in its pure essence, I personally don't believe it's either male or female, okay? I believe that there are different stages of creation. But when it goes back to the source, the all, the ultimate, the alpha and the omega, all right? When it goes back to the pure essence of the all, the beginning, I don't believe, for me, I don't think it's male or female. However, it had to get aware of that's what it takes to create, so that it manifested a masculine and a feminine principle that created the male and the female. And again, that is just my own perception of how I understand the all. All right. Joseph, have you heard of the clan of Andros? No, I haven't heard about that. Let me write that down. I'm going to do some research on that, because, you know, I'm addicted to studying. If y'all don't know, I'm addicted to doing research. Like, literally, I research and study at least 17 to 18 hours a day. You know, so I'm going to look that up. Clan of Andros. And I always look into everything, because sometimes, how do you know whether if somebody's telling you something, how do you know it's true or not? You know what I mean? Or how do you know how to react to certain things? So that's why I always study. I never think, unless I know something is pure garbage, I don't want to listen to. But if I believe I could get a little bit of information from it, I'll check out the information. Absolutely. All righty. So what have we here now? Okay. All right. So we hear my blood was cooking the whole day reading those Europeans took all those things and smile and fake kindness. Well, that is their nature. That is the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? So it's up to us again to wake up and do what we got to do. 2001 said America would have been poor if they did not hate and kill us. America would have never been poor. Well, of course, I mean, you know, the whole point was it was because of greed. You know what I mean? It was because of greed. So, you know, the country is bankrupt. You know, and again, when you say America, you have to be careful. America is a continent. So I think you meant to say the United States of America. The United States has been bankrupt since, I mean, what, the late 1800s, almost 19 something, 1931, 1932, they've been bankrupt. Everything that we're dealing with right now is an illusion, and literally the debt cannot be repaid. So they are always in a state of bankruptcy. So this cannot be restored. People are just living an illusion. Okay, they're just, even the bailout, all those things is an illusion. The debt could never be paid. This United States it's done. Period. It's done. Okay. A lot of people are living an illusion right now. Where did the pale man come from? It was the pale man. I would come to someone else. I did a few videos on that, Jamar. So you probably have to check that out. You know, you probably have to check that out because it's a long video with information. But again, it's just me explaining it from my perspective. Okay, because and we all know for a fact that this entire planet was all heavy, hued, dark-skinned, melanated people. So I believe that they manifested because we kind of fell into our low chakra and then we manifested them. You know what I'm saying? I believe so. Not that they came from us per se, but we manifested them from the spiritual realm. So I think, you know, again, that is just my way of breaking that down. All right. Jada Spada said, so if everything has already done on the spiritual plan and that life has already been planned out for us, do we believe in freedom of choice? Well, we have what's called free will. Now, the free will is not to do as you please. The free will is to do as you should. You see, there's a difference. People take the concept of free will to mean what they want it to mean. The laws have, the universe has laws, okay? So therefore, the free will is to do as you should, but not do as you will. And that's why we are the ones who set up our own punishment. We are the ones who set up our own karma. There is no sky daddy looking down, judging you. That's going to send you to hell or heaven. No. You are solely responsible for your own karma. Okay? You are responsible for that. So don't let nobody fool you. So when you see people want to be evil and they go on their knees and start praying, asking for forgiveness, it's not doing a damn thing because nobody's listening. They are the ones setting up their own karma. Okay? Religion created that myth so that people could be evil and then on a Sunday or a Saturday go to a church or go on their knees and ask for forgiveness and believe everything is going to be all right. No. There's a heavy spiritual debt to pay for that because you are the one who set up your own karma. Whatever you throw into the universe, that's what's going to come back. I mean, it may not manifest now, a year from now, 2 years from now, today or next month, but believe that you are setting up your own karma. And I think that's the perfect scenario because if I'm responsible for my own actions, meaning that based on what I do, it creates my hell. And based on what I do, it creates my heaven. Isn't that the best situation where I am responsible for my own heaven or hell? I have to be accountable. I think that's the perfect situation. Why would it be there is one sky daddy looking down, judging people? Oh, you know what? You're bad. So the devil is over here laughing. Okay, well, you know what, God? Let me get this one. He messed up. This one is good. You got him. No, there is no game playing like that in a place called heaven. That's what religion teaches. But they are teaching that because they don't want people to be accountable, to be responsible. You see, it's a business. If I could keep you doing evil things, so-called evil things, from Monday to Friday, And on Saturday and Sunday, you could come and ask for forgiveness and everything is going to be okay. It's a perfect situation. But you have to give 10% of your salary in order to be a member. So it's a club. You know, it's a big club. Some people choose to go to clubs and dance and smoke and drink. Some people pay to go to a club where they ask for forgiveness for sins they think that they have committed. That's all it is. So it's a business at the end of the day. But we are responsible for our own actions. So we have to always keep that in mind. This land mass of America was intended to be something better than what it is. Family, you're absolutely right, QMTV. It is actually something better than what it is. But our people are living in the illusion. You see, they are living in the illusion because they don't know who they are. You have to get this. If you could convince me that this is not my home, I am not going to treat it like my home. You have to realize the game that has been played on the American Aborigines. If you convince me this is not my home, of course, I'm not going to treat it as mine. I'm always going to feel like a stranger. I'm always going to say, well, damn, this land don't belong to us. That was the game and that was the trick that was played on our people. It was well orchestrated. Like I said, I give them credit. It doesn't mean that I condone it, but I give them credit. That's ingenious. You come to a land where people they have always been. All their ancestors, they have always been. You happen to come. They welcome you with open arms. You learned their ways. You went back. You came with guns and you destroyed them and you took their land. And not just take their land, you convinced them that they are from somewhere else. Damn, that's ingenious. For real. So I'm just saying, give Jack his jacket. They did so that was, again, it was ingenious. The question is to outsmart them. You see, I always have to put in the responsibility on us because I cannot continue to blame the pale man. I'm not going to do that. Okay? Blaming the pale man is not going to restore my land. So I have to put in the work. I have to do what I have to do. Period. And that is the key. Our people have to step out of these people's system that they created to cripple them because they have them living in fear. They cannot live an organic life. They cannot live. They are always in survival mode. And then you have the conscious community. You have your so-called lecturers and teachers who are also misleading you. Because I'm going to reiterate, anyone who calls you black, they don't love you. Okay? They are not a teacher. They are an agent because they know what black means within law. And I always have to go back to, again, I like to use logic. If you know everything about biology, if you know everything about the Anunnaki, if you know everything about spaceships and the flat earth and the round earth and in between the earth, if you know everything else, okay, about the fallen of man, and you know all that, how is that you don't know the simple little fact that by me calling myself black, it means that I'm a slave in the United States of America? Are you serious? No. Nobody's going to convince me that these people don't know. Because they call themselves researchers. They call themselves scholars. But yet still, they cannot tell the people the truth. They cannot find enough research to tell the American Aborigine that they have always been here. And then they are the ones who literally call the pale man the cracker, how much they hate the cracker, but yet still you believe the story that that same so-called cracker told you that you're from Africa. You're being a hypocrite. And you're an agent working for these people trying to keep us out of our land, from trying to prevent us from getting back our birthright. And yes, I said it, they're agents. Real talk. I'm always trying to pronounce the sister's name. What is it? Bill G's or Bell G's? You know, you're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce this for real. 2000 Watts said, the sister said, I am telling my son everything when I finish a chapter so he can not be fooled. Of course, we have to teach the children. That's what it's about. Let them know who they are, because again, this has been over 500 years of the perpetual cycle of slavery, perpetual cycle of servitude. So we have to start teaching our children to wake them up out of that cycle. So you're doing the right thing. US fight too much. If you watch Dane Calloway's videos on Black Wall Street, they did a full war on the Aborigines. Yes, I'm certainly sure. You know what, family? I'm not going to say that they're not going to fight us. I'm not going to say that. Because, again, this is war. All right? It's a war. And they have to always stay in war mode, because anytime we wake up and we step up, they're going to oppose. I mean, that's expected. It doesn't mean that we should stop. You feel me? It doesn't mean that we should stop. To me, the difference now is we should not operate and move under the pretense of who they make us. In other words, that fake identity that they gave us, that fake classification, we should not move under that identity, because now it makes our people private citizens, to be done with what they want to do with our people. Okay, so that's why I always address my videos to indigenous people around the world, and essentially the American Aborigines. That's who I make my videos and I dedicate it to, because I don't want it to come across as if I'm soliciting the citizens of the United States. I have to respect their citizens, Black people and African American. I gotta respect the United States citizens. Let me see, it's like, oh, it's Bill Keys. All right, cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, because first time I was like BILQISY 14. So it's Bill Keys. Bill Keys. Got it. How do you wake up people that won't accept facts and check? Well, family, like I've always said, you can't wake them up. You know, it is not your job to wake them up. Your job is to provide the information, plant the seed, and they will wake up when it's time. Okay? So JD Spada, I hope that makes sense. Our job is not to wake them up. Our job is to give them the information. All right? And they will wake up when it's time. In other words, you could take a donkey to a well, but you can't force it to drink water. It will drink the water if it so chooses. It's the same thing with our people who are asleep. Okay? You have to keep planting those seeds, sharing the information. Eventually, something may resonate within them. Something may click, and all of a sudden, boom, they start screaming, I am indigenous. I'm an American Aborigine. I'm not from Africa. I am not Black. They're going to get it. They're going to get it. We just got to keep doing what we got to do. That's it. Leon, hey, what's up, fam? None of the HOK brothers teach about us being the Aborigines of the America, and they have a huge following. Well, you see, Brother Leon, that is the problem. And that's why I say these people are agents. They are agents because, you see, what's popular is what's getting them paid. Now, if all of a sudden they start telling the people the truth, that's not going to pay them. That's not going to pay them. You see, so they have to continue misleading the people, just like these pastors and ministers. Imagine the pastor coming up one day, Sunday school. Hey, greetings, hey, today we have a very special, sermon today. We love y'all and we're going to tell y'all the truth finally. Guess what? Jesus is not real. Can you imagine what's going to happen in that church? So they have to continue telling the lie because they have to continue getting paid. You see, that's what's crippling our people right now, chasing the illusion that the European man has created in our land. Everything that they have given us is not organic, okay? It is not of our indigenous selves. Once again, I'm going to ask you, when you look into nature, do you see animals paying rent? Do you see animals buying food? No, you don't. So my question is, why are we paying rent? Why do we have to buy food? As a matter of fact, look into nature. Do you see animals working? Family, before these people came into our land, I have giving you enough information. Before these people came into our land, we didn't work. That's why we lived longer. We were not stressing. But these people came with their poisons, and our people are stressing. They're getting disease. They're getting sick. We have to go back to that, where we could just be in nature, chilling, eating fruits all day. We ain't got to work. We ain't got to pay no rent. Family, that's what I'm trying to get you to see, my brothers and sisters. Those dudes in the conscious community, they are chasing the money. The money is what keeps this illusion alive. The money is what keeps their system alive. I am trying to let you see the vision of us going back the way our ancestors had it, when we didn't have to work. We didn't have to pay rent. We didn't have to do anything but just chill, love each other, eat fruits, and we just barbecuing all day. That's what we have to go back to. All right? That's what we have to go back to. How do you wake? Okay, I read that already. Yes. Okay, I got you, Belkey. I got you, Belkeys. I got it. Yes, I do. 2000 was can we still unite if we accept being Aborigines but keep our relationships without religion being involved? Can we still unite? Family, you know, I know 2000 watts, I know where you're coming from. And if you choose to be still indoctrinated by their religion, that's on you. But it still doesn't change the fact that you're an American Aborigines. I tell people this has nothing to do with religion. If you still want to be a Christian, if you still want to believe in the fake Jesus, that's on you. It still doesn't change the fact that you are an Aborigines. All it means is that you are converted. And the more you read, I suggest that you read the book. For the last videos that I did, the last 4, I did part 1, 2, and 3. Get your head out of the Bible for a second and read all the things. See how Christianity was brought into this land. See how they introduced Jesus. Do some research on what you call, you know, the Council of Nicaea. You know, Constantine. Do some research, sis. And eventually, when you're ready to wake up and let it go, because I know you have convinced yourself that Jesus is real, but he's not. He never was. You feel me? But again, it doesn't change the fact that you are indigenous. You are still indigenous, okay? It doesn't change the fact that you are, all right? Yes, look at the animals. And I'm telling people, how do we claim our ourselves as Aborigine? SB Man Ra 4. I just saw your question. That's a great question. What makes you indigenous to the Americas is your blood, okay? That makes you indigenous. So the question is, are you ready to step up and let the world know that you are an American Aborigine? Because nobody could claim anything for you but you. You have to make that statement, all right? You have to identify yourself as indigenous American Aborigine. That's who I am. So therefore, you have to make that statement, all right? So you are the one that have to do that. But you guys have my email, so please send me an email so we, like I said, we could move forward and build, all right? Because there are a few steps to take to put things in order. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that answered your question. Jamal says, Chief, what is your opinion on the reptilian that rule this world? And did you know there are 13 bloodlines? Well, family, 13 is what you call a divine number. Just like how you have the so-called 12 disciples, we know that was fake, and Jesus the 13th, which was fake. But you also have 12, what you call 12 faculties in man, and you are the 13th. So we are always the 13th one, the 13th son. So everything is in 13. Even when you have a nation, okay, like you have the 13 colonies. When the United States first started forming itself, you have the 13 colonies, okay? Also, when you form in your nation, okay, it's 13. So 13 is always the magic number. That's why they told you 13 is bad luck. That's why in buildings, they don't have the 13th floor, because they want you to think it's negative. But 13 is a positive, high frequential number. So the question of reptilians, those are literally, to me, those are just different entities, man. You know, entities that came here, all right, to entrap the original people. I don't pay these people no mind. I don't pay them no attention. You know, the more energy you give them, the more they'll be able to affect you. So I don't even pay them no mind. I know that I'm the original man, so nothing is more powerful than me. So that's how I rock with that. So I hope that makes sense. All righty. Where we at with this right now? All right, family, hold on 1 second. Let me just get some water. My throat is getting a little parched. So try not to put too many comments so I could get lost. All right? Give me 1 sec. All righty, I'm back. Thanks for being patient. Jama said, I really hate the school that our children and teens go to school. And well, family, you know, again, it's about taking responsibility. How do we expect our enemies to teach our children? So, which brings me back to my point. We have to go back to our indigenous ways. And that's the only way we will be able to take control of our situation. All right. As long as you decide to stay Black, African American, then guess what? You cannot escape the beast. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what's keeping the beast alive. You being Black and you being African American. And that's what these so-called conscious dudes are not telling you. So literally, they want you to be part of the beast. They want you to stay entrapped. So they're not going to tell you the truth. But in order for the beast to fall, you have to detach yourself from her. You have to come out of her. How do you come out of the beast? By not being Black, by not being African American, but going back to being indigenous, reclaiming your birthright. But they're not going to tell you that because you see, it's not popular, it's not getting them paid. Let me tell you something. If this was about money for me, I would be on here telling y'all Black power, believe me. But this is about the true liberation of our people. And because I know the truth, I cannot mislead the people. I cannot do it. It's not in my nature to do it. My ancestors sent me here for a reason, and I'm going to continue to do what they sent me here for, period. All right. Patrick said, look up a picture of Caesar Borgia. He was the portrait of, well, you know what, Patrick, it doesn't matter what you tell a lot of our brothers and sisters, they are going to believe that Jesus was real. The same way like you can't tell some people Santa Claus is fake. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. They're going to wake up when it's time for them to wake up. You and I know that he never existed, and you cannot convince them because they will tell you that Jesus did something for them. Jesus didn't do anything for you. You did it yourself. You see, it's a mind game. It's a trick. It's a trick. Like they did a survey, I think, in Howard University. All right. And they took about, if I'm not mistaken, they took about 24 students, right? And they put them in a room and they put them under hypnosis. And what they did was they put their hands in cold water, okay? And because they were under hypnosis, they told them that the cold water was actually hot. And do you know these people started screaming like they were literally on fire? Because they were hypnotized. They convinced themselves that the ice water was literally hot. It's the same thing with the whole Jesus thing. They convinced our people it's real. So no matter what you tell them, they're not gonna see, they're not gonna believe it. They're gonna think that he is doing something for them when it's literally their own mind that's doing it. So like I said, you know, I'm not gonna ostracize our brothers and sisters for believing in that. Okay, my focus right now is what we have in common. What we have in common is we are indigenous. What we have in common is we have the same oppressor. Okay, so how do we come together and combat that? After we do that, okay, and we restore what's ours, then we could work out the kinks. now we could study and show you exactly what our ancestors did and practice. But until then, yes, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to ostracize our brothers and sisters. The parents enforce this and make their kids go to school. Well, family, Jamar, the parents aren't the ones forcing their children to go to school. They have to let them go to school because remember, the children don't belong to the parents. Our people don't seem to get this. When you are Black, you don't belong to yourself. When you are Black, your children don't belong to you. So you have to do what your master tell you to do. So if you don't send their children to their school, they will come and take their children. So Jamar, it's not the parents that are forcing the children. The parents don't want to go to jail. That's what it is. Because like I said, once you send that birth certificate, it was a wrap. All right. We have to go back to the ways of our ancestors. I would like to move forward and build, and we reach. Yes, please reach out to 1,000 watts. I appreciate that. I heard there is a move, try and stop nationalism right now. I heard there is a move to try and stop. Well, I never heard of the move, and I'm certainly sure there are a few things they are trying. But again, this is not about nationalism to me. It's about me being indigenous and knowing that I'm indigenous to my land, and I just want to be left alone and be free to do what I have to do in my ancestral land. So yes, 2,000 watts, send me an email. We got work to do. I'm very thankful for opening up my eyes. Absolutely. That's what it's about, coming into the truth. Coming into the truth. You feel me? So family, for those of you, like I said, who are ready to build, okay? Ready to make moves, my email is in the link below. Send me an email. This is what this video was about today. Let's build. Moving forward. Okay? It is one thing to get the knowledge. It is one thing to know that I am not Black. It is one thing to know that I am not African American. It's another thing to know that I am American Aborigines. But the question remains, how do I move forward? What do I do? And that's what this is about. So send me an email so that we could move forward, all right? We could put things in perspective. How do we regain and restore the ways and culture of our ancestors? This is what this is about. So if you're ready, like I said, send me an email with your number, give you guys a call. I'm gonna plug you guys into some conference calls that we're doing all around the country, literally getting the indigenous people on one page. All right, because we are the people and we have to move as we are the people. All right. Yes, it's always good to homeschool your children. It's always a benefit to do that. And 2,000 watts, you should probably use children instead of kids, because goats and animals, they have kids. All right. So children, I think, is the most appropriate, word for that, if you don't mind. All right. Let's build. I am not Black, not African American. That's right. You're absolutely right. We are indigenous American Aborigines. We are the original people. And moving forward, that's what we should let the world know. All right. That's what we should let the world know. Sunland Christian School. Well, 2,000 watts, you know how I'm with the whole Christian thing, but more power to you, my sister. You want to stick with your Christian thing, that's on you, but again, my ancestors were raped, and young boys was raped to accept Christianity. My ancestors would rather get killed than become Christians. So I have no respect for that religion, you know what I'm saying, or anything that has to do with Christianity. But like I said, it still doesn't change the fact that you and I can build, okay? Because you call yourself a Christian or stuff like that, it doesn't mean that I can't build with you. What we are going through right now has nothing to do with your religion. You know what I mean? Oh, that's the name of the school. It has Christian in there. So the bottom line, the whole point, have Christian in there, like I said, do you, sis? You know what I mean? Do you? I don't have to be, well, true. But you know what I mean? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I agree with that. But anytime I see the word Christian, man, listen, I get scared. That word Christian just get me nervous. All right. So again, I'm not coming at you. It's all love. All right. Alex says, what should I do now, Chief? Hey, Alex, like I said, you know, you ready to build? Send me an email, brother. Send me an email, leave your number, and let's put in this work. It's that simple. We are indigenous, and we got to step up and let them know we are still here. That's it. Period. End of story. You know, we're not gonna make it complicated. This is our land. We know it's our land. We're gonna step up and let them know that this is our land. We have always been here, and we are not going anywhere. All right. Africa has no place for us because we're not from Africa. And I'm talking about the American Aborigines who know that this is their land. Everybody else who think they're from Africa, hey, you know what? Have a nice trip home. But you have to ask yourself, why is everybody in the world coming to our land? Ask yourself that question. Because this has always been the place that the entire world look up to. Facts. Jamar, are there more white people in the world than us? More, because those crackers be trying to populate. Well, family, me, I don't use derogatory terms, so I'm gonna say pale people. I'd rather say that. Of course not. They're not. You know, they don't outnumber us. They don't even outnumber us right here in the United States. I mean, they tell us it's about 45 million of us, but that's a lie. Because we have always been here, so we are the original people. So obviously we're gonna outnumber them. But with their fake census, you see, everything is mental. If I tell you it's only about 45 million of you, then you're not gonna get any ideas. You're not gonna rally up. You're not gonna get any bright ideas to do stuff. But literally, there's over 100 million of us right here in the United States alone. We're not even talking about the entire American continent. We're not even talking about that. And that's facts. All right, that's facts. We are the majority. The only reason why they call us minority is not because we are the minority in numbers. It is because they say that our people are minors. Minority, what's a minor? A minor is a child that cannot take care of itself. So that's why they call us minorities, not because we are less in number. It has nothing to do with that. It's a mental state of mind. That's what it is. So they think you're a minor, a child, so you need a big father or a big mother, which is the United States government, to take care of you. That's the only thing they mean by minor or minority. It's a state of mind, the mind of a child. But I am grown. I don't need nobody to take care of me. So I am an American Aborigine. I am independent of that. All right. So I hope that makes sense. Omar says the funny is people love to claim Africa, but will never go. I always ask them, Omar. I always ask them, brother. Like, if y'all think y'all came here on a slave ship, right? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give you that because that's what you want to claim. Go ahead. But if you say you came here on a slave ship and this in the America is not your home, nowadays you don't need a ship to go back home. You could buy a one-way ticket. So go home. Why do they stay here and get mad at us for saying who we are? Why is that? I don't get that. Go ahead. Nobody's stopping you. Buy a one-way ticket and go home. You know why they will not go? Is because they know deep down in their heart that's not where they're from. They don't know where they're going. They don't know where they're going. That's the problem. You feel me? That is the problem. So they're just going with the flow. It's a movement. It's a movement that they got caught up in. It's popular and they're just going with the flow. And that's my personal opinion on that. All righty. We have is the spirit. Yep. All right. Celestial Rider. They have us divided so we can't see the big picture. That is true. That is true. You're absolutely right. And that is the key. Remember, the man told you they came to kill, steal, and destroy. When people tell you who they are, you have to believe them, family. You have to believe them. You see, our people are under the illusion that these people are our friends. You see, that's the problem. From the very beginning, the man told you they came to kill, steal, and destroy. Since their inception, what have they done? They told you that they're going to bring Jesus with the sword. They did exactly that. Jesus came with the sword to kill our people. They told you everything they was going to do. But our people don't believe. Hey, I'm just saying. At some point, we have to take responsibility. We have to take responsibility. Who at school said, I will never be the same person after reading this book. I know. This book, it opened up my eyes. I had knowledge. And like I say, I'm always learning, but that book definitely did a number on me as well. I feel all the pain with my American brothers and sisters. I'm Ethiopian, and I love you all, my family. You are always in my heart. And we love you too, sis. You know, when I speak the way that I speak, I'm not saying that our African brothers and sisters, we are not supposed to unite with them. I'm not saying that. However, all I'm just saying is we have to make it clear that we have our own identity and this is our land. And we are not going to allow you to displace us or misplace us and put us on another continent so that you could take our birthright, which is our land. You see, that's the trick. You feel me? So yes, we love our African brothers and sisters. Yes, we do. But we know that we came from a different stock. We know that. At least I know that. All right? I know that. And hey, what's up, the dogs? Peace and love, family. Peace and love. I see you made it. All right. What else? Who else do we have here now? So we, like I said, we building. We going through the, the timeline. The chat. See what's good. See what's good. All right. How do you become spiritually divine? Jamar, you're already a spirit. Remember, remember, the body, the physical man is not the real man. Man is immortal. You are literally what they call, again, I don't like using the word God, but you are literally God manifested in the flesh. You feel me? So, hey, what's up, J. Henry Yuck? I think that's what it is. Oh, Henry UK. What's up, family? Peace and love. So you are already a spiritual, you're already spirit. The question is, you have to make yourself aware of that. Because we are always thinking that the physical man is us. We are not the physical man. We are not the flesh. The flesh is just an avatar. Like me speaking right now is not the physical man speaking. You feel me? It is the individual, the being that's inside of me that's literally speaking right now. Okay? So you're already a spirit. You're already spiritual. You just have to be aware of it. It's all about awareness, enlightenment. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. By meditating and connecting to the true self. Yeah, of course, it's by being aware. And how do you do that? You meditate, you go within, connect with the inner self. All right? That's what you have to do. Connect with the higher self, connect with the inner self. Take time to meditate, take time to go within, listen to yourself. And the key is now you have to learn the difference between that bad wolf and that good wolf, so-called bad wolf, and that evil wolf that's within you. Because the so-called devil and the so-called God is in each and every one of us. The question is, which one manifests? It is the one that you feed the most. And that's what religion is not teaching people they call sheep. All right, J. Henry UK, thank you for that, please. I appreciate that. Hey, what's up, NLPs, peace. N4L, welcome. And my Ethiopian sister, I just want you to know again, I love and appreciate you as well, So I never want this to come across as me putting down our African brothers and sisters. No, that's not what it means. All right. All I'm doing is bringing the truth to our people, because I'm not going to hold on to the truth because I'm going to feel guilty of speaking the truth. No, I am going to speak the truth because my ancestors brought me here to speak the truth. So I'm going to do that. And I have to keep it real. All right. And they made it clear that you have your own identity. This has always been your land. You are not from Africa. They have literally confirmed that for me. So I'm not going to play the game and tell my people that we're from Africa when we are not. All right? That's just what it is. I know this may not be popular, like I said, but guess what? 10, 15 years from now, they're going to be looking at this and be like, wow, the chief was telling the truth. So it's okay. I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the work now because it's videos like these that's going to wake up the next 6, 7 generations, because it's going to take some time for people to wake up and let go of all the lies, especially with what's popular right now in the conscious community. the fake black power. Black has no power. It doesn't exist within law. So you have no power. And the more you stay black or African American, everything that you own belongs to your slave master. So tell me how much power that you got. So you see the illusion that they're chasing, but they have to chase the illusion because it keeps them paid. And that is a fact. All right, and the same like you, I love the truth and hate lies. Absolutely. Only the truth will set you free. Only the truth will let you, okay, raise your frequency and raise your vibration. Only the truth could do that. And we should not allow other people's truth to be our truth. We have our own truth. We have our own identity. And we have to step up and let the world know that we are still here. We never left. We are not extinct. We know the game. We know what you try to do now. We know that this is our land, and you have to change our identity to detach us from our birthright, which is our land. Oh, you know what? You did a great job. But now we peeped the game. We know what you did. We know what you are doing. So now we are stepping up and let you know that the original people of the land, we are still here, and we want the respect we deserve in our land, and we want our land back, period. Because this is not yours. We get it. You know, you are the landlord right now because you stole it, and you made us the tenant. But right now it's time to reverse the roles. We are going to be the landlords again, and you're going to be the tenant. Because we are the original people, and that is facts. All right. So family, I just wanted to come and build with you guys a little bit. You guys have my email in the link below. Like I said, hit me up with your information so we could put in this work and make this thing happen. I'm about to end this video. Once again, fam, you got the super chat. The GoFundMe link is below. Support those who support you. All right. Support those who are bringing the authentic truth. You know, like I said, I know it's not popular, and it's all right. It's okay. But I always tell folks, and I'm going to repeat that again, the message will appear when the student is ready. All right. When the student is ready, the message will appear. So I'm bringing the truth, the message to the people. When they are ready, they will get it, because they will go back and be like, you know what? I know my great-grandmother told me she was Indian. So I got to ask myself, I know Chief makes sense. Like, if my great-grandmother was an Indian, how all of a sudden the Indians skip my mother and the Indians skip me, and I'm black or African? That doesn't make sense. Where did she get the Indian from? And how come she went from Indian and me black? You see, you have to think and ask yourself those questions. And that's when logic kicks in. You see, or even if I didn't hear it from my mother, but I hear one of my grand uncles say, we are Indians. So let me ask you another question. If my uncle was an Indian, how is that everybody else in the family is black? Did he magically become an Indian from space? So family, I'm just asking you to use some common sense sometimes. All right? That's all it is. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm here to bring you the truth, and you do what you want with it. That's my job. I'm not here to impose it upon you. But I just want you to know that the sooner we wake up and realize the truth about who we are, the faster we could put things in place. Well, not necessarily faster, but the faster we could unite, so to speak. Because everything is going to happen in its own time. All right? No problem, Malay Mages. And Alex says, you know, may the great spirit and ego watch over you, Chief. You too, brother. Like I said, you have my email. Send me an email so we could, you know, discuss what you spoke of. May the great spirit be with y'all as well. All right. And always continue to rise and raise your frequency, family. And remember, we are the only ones that we have. SB Man Ra 4. Brantley, peace and love to you, fam. All right. Jamar, how do you feel about the GMO goods or foods? Family, you already know. I'm all natural. I don't mess with that because I know it is a killer to our people. So I try to eat as whole as possible. I don't eat meat, you know. I strictly try to, I'm going back to nature, family. That's the best way I could sum it up. You feel me? Bouillon Smith said, genetics are the truth. LOL, plain and simple. Yes, I mean, it's in our genes. I mean, that's who we are. You know, a lot of us, our genetics tie us to this land. So this is who we are. El Rasta said, does this include South America? Yes. the entire America, the American continent consists of South, Central, and North America. So we are all indigenous to the Americas. Absolutely, we are. Okay, Chief, thank you. It's 1:55 in Holland, and I'm going to sleep. See you soon. Yes, sis, get some rest. I know it's almost 2 o'clock where you are in Holland, so I appreciate you, tuning in and connecting. You know what I mean? So peace and love to you as well. All right. J. Henry, UK night family. London time is different. I know it is. I know it is. I know you guys. I think you're about 5 hours ahead, so I know it's in the wee hours of the morning. So I thank you guys for tuning in. Real talk. Much love all over the globe, man. That's who we are. We are connected. We are still one. Indigenous to the entire globe. You feel me? That's what it is. I already know that. For real. But I also know that the world is waiting on the American Aborigines to wake up. And that's my job, to wake us up. Alex said it's like 12 over here in England. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like, yeah, 5 hours ahead. So I dig it. I respect it. For real. 1 a.m. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, family. I'm about to shut this down. I'm just going to chill for the rest of the evening. I'm going to relax myself. I'm going to do some meditation, listen to some music. I think I've done well for the day. I did a little presentation in a group on Facebook. I did part 4 of to complete, that book, which I would like you guys to finish reading. I did from 1 to 4, but please continue to read the book, because it's a lot of insight about our ancestors and what they went through and their ways and the character, all right, and the humanity of our ancestors. Know who they are, all right? So, and then I'm doing this video talking about building, just connecting with the family, all right? So let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen. All right, El Rasta, peace and love, harmony, family. It's all good, absolutely, all right? Family, continue to raise your vibrations, continue to love and support each other, and know the real among you. Okay, we have to know the real ones among us. Okay, and let us continue to get it tight, man. We the people, we're gonna make it happen. The email is below. Once again, please support the GoFundMe, Indigenous Power. You know what I mean? American Indian, American Aborigines, we are here. Much love to all the indigenous peoples around the world. All right, stay up, family. Stay up, and continue to hold these people responsible. All these people on YouTube that's teaching y'all all this crazy stuff. Okay, telling y'all everything else except the truth. Hold them responsible. If they call you black, that's the sign of being an agent. If they call you African American, that's the sign of being an agent, because they want you to remain a slave. And that is facts. Prove me wrong. All right, it's 6:59 over here. Well, yeah, same thing. It's about 7 o'clock where I'm at too in Illinois. So hey Jamar, where you at? Because I know you said it's 7 o'clock where you at. It's 7 o'clock where I'm at too. What do you, especially when you meditate? Well, I'll do another video on meditation, which I've done in the past. But meditation is really about, just finding some time to chill, fam. That's it. And just thinking to yourself and going within. That's it, man. That's meditation. But of course, you have different forms of meditation. You have visualization. You have for manifestation. You have for relaxation. So you know what? One day I'll do a video on meditation. I've done before, but I promise I'll do a video on meditation. I'm also going to talk about the pineal gland, because it also connects, because I did make a promise I was going to do that. So I'll do that as well. So we're going to put in some work. All right. Bouillon, he's in Texas. All right. So, we still fam. We still here. Same central time. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So family, once again, man, I'm out. And we'll talk soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I know you guys got to work during the week, so enjoy your week. I'll try to see if I could drop a couple of videos sometime this week. But we're gonna talk soon. Continue to build, and my email is below. Hit the GoFundMe, and let's continue to grow. All right, peace and love.